Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making some appetizing gourmet corned beef, and we are going to pair this with some cornmeal floats and some delicious light and fluffy cornmeal fried bakes. Join me in the kitchen and let's make an appetizing Caribbean breakfast. Click that thumbs up button and let's get into the ingredients. In our bowl we have 4 cups of all-purpose flour, and we are going to add a third of a cup of cornmeal. We're adding a 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and we're adding a 1/2 cup of margarine. This is going to be a very quick recipe, so stick around and let's make our Caribbean breakfast. Now we're going to get our hands dirty and let's break up the butter into the flour. Cornmeal fried bakes are so delicious. I prefer cornmeal fried bakes than the regular fried bakes. Cornmeal has a lot of fiber in there, and that's what we want. We want it to be tasty but still nutritious. I'm going in with the water, warm water. I'm adding a 1.5 cups at first, and then I'm going to add as I go if needed. I want these fried bakes to be very soft. Beautiful. So I think that's enough water. Lovely. And I'm going to mix this until it's nice and smooth and it comes to the second stage of dough development, which is that part where you have some holes in there. Even though I was born and raised in the Caribbean, I still make my bakes. North America can't stop my bakes. I love bakes and smoked herring. I still make bakes and smoked herring. Bakes and saltfish. And my children, they also enjoy bakes. They prefer bakes over bread. Right, so our bakes are done kneading. Let's cover it up and leave it to sit for 45 minutes. Allow the gluten to relax themselves a bit. While our fried bake is resting, I'm going to prepare the aromatics for the corned beef. I'm dicing some onions. Long ago when you made fried bakes and coconut bakes with fire on top and fire below was the best thing. When the old people made it. They didn't just make bakes for the family or the house, they made bakes for a lot of the children in the community. I remember when my mother used to make fried bakes, she would make them by the big wash. They used to call it wash pan. She would make some wash pan of bakes, and all the little children used to eat as long as they passed by, and they used to look forward for those bakes. And when she made fire on top, fire below, coconut bake outside, sometimes 6 p.m. in the dark, and the coconut shell on top and below when they were lit, that would be the light outside, and you would enjoy making fried bakes and coconut bakes right outside. Those were some really good days. So our onions are done. Now we're gonna cut up some green onions. I like a lot of green onions in my corned beef. I don't think our young people these days could make bakes as good as the old people. Those old people could have made some bakes, and they used to have to use pitch oil lamp and flambeau the bolife, and they're outside in the dark, outside their old kitchen or the kitchen of the house, and they would make bakes for the whole family, because long ago they used to have a lot of children and they used to adopt children as well. Now we're gonna chop some bell peppers, and while I'm chopping this, we're just gonna go a little story time. You know, long ago it used to take a village to raise a child, and that had the true meaning. And that had the true meaning of taking a village, because folks for today would tell you that they grew up with Miss Gertrude or somebody, or Miss Mary or somebody who wasn't their loved one, but they took the time to raise them just because they were friends with their children. But these days it's not like that. I'm going in with some red bell peppers as well. This corned beef is going to be a gourmet corned beef. There was a story with a lady long ago in my village. She had a lot of children, but you know, long ago the older folks, they have to go in the garden and all of that. And she used to wake up really early, 4 a.m., 3 a.m. to make bakes outside with a flambeau. And one time she got up to make the cocoa tea. They used to make their own chocolate. And because it was dark, they used to put all the powder milk and everything in bottles. And what she did, she tried to make cocoa tea for the kids. So she made the cocoa tea and she made the bake and everything, and when it was daylight and they all were ready to serve the tea in their enamel cups, the tea was yellow. And when they got to realize, she made an entire pot of curry tea. The long ago people, they really had struggles. So we're gonna use some yellow bell peppers as well. We want this corned beef to be a really nice gourmet corned beef. And me personally, I value the long time teaching. Now I'm gonna chop some fresh cilantro. You can use shano beni if you have shano beni on hand, also known as culantro or water mint in the Asian stores. That's a good substitute. It's the same family and it basically tastes the same. We're also going to be using 7 cloves of garlic, and I'm going to dice them. Let's go in with some olive oil. This is 1 1/3 cup of olive oil. And we're going to begin with the aromatics. White onion. And we're making this al dente. We want those onions and everything to stand up in this ready. While you are watching, I would appreciate if you can click that subscription button and help me to grow this channel. Now we're going to add all our bell peppers. We're going to be making 2 tins of corned beef. If you don't want to do 2 tins of corned beef, you can do 1. Even with the same amount of vegetables and aromatics. Let this cook for about 2 minutes. Now let's add the corned beef. We're going to break up the corned beef. Corned beef is one of those things that I know a lot of people enjoy with some bakes, even with some saltfish. Even sardines are very good with bakes as well. I love sardine and bakes, but the sardine has to be cooked properly. You can also add water to this, but I'm not adding any water because I want it kind of dry in my bakes. Now I'm going in with some lime juice, some hot sauce, half a teaspoon of hot sauce because this is very spicy. This is a good mix up. I am adding some of my homemade green seasoning, green onions, cilantro, and we're gonna mix this up. And this is about done. Our fried bakes are raised, as in the Caribbean we say, leave your fried bakes to gift. And I'm gonna ball these out. And I'm looking to try to get 12 fried bakes from these. I'm trying to get them to equal sizes. And we're gonna do our last 5 bakes. So I ended up having 12 and just a little bit. We're gonna add 3 cups of oil to the frying pan. Now let's roll out our fry bakes and get frying. I don't like my fry bakes too big. This is just right, so I could put some corned beef on the inside. If you like fry bakes big, you can make them thinner and big, but this is the size that I'm gonna go with. Let's add these to our pot. Depending on the size of the pan, you can make 2. I'm gonna make some flat and I'm gonna make some float. Just turn in these. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please click that subscription button, click the notification bell and the like button. And let me know what kind of fry bakes you like. Let me know how you make your fry bakes, if you prefer fry bakes or you just prefer the floats. I love the floats because they are so light and fluffy. When we're floating bakes, we have to leave enough room in the pot, and you gotta pour oil as you're going along. So some of the bakes are gonna be floated and some are gonna fry. Turn these over. And don't worry about the color too much, because whenever you're doing frying, when they come out of the pot, they're still frying. So the color will darken. Let's remove our floats. And here you have it, our Caribbean breakfast: gourmet corned beef, cornmeal floats, cornmeal bakes with a side of fresh salad. Thank you for joining. See you on another good day for another great recipe.